families are grieving today and making funeral arrangements for the 4 victims of a deadly crash.
Police say 48-year-old Kenneth Hartsock crossed the center line yesterday afternoon on Highland Pike in Fort Wright. His car slammed into another car carrying 70-year-old Sarah Ann Willis, her husband, 79-year-old John Jack Willis, and her 72-year-old sister Gloria Roden. All died at the scene. Local 12's Joe Webb joins us live from Fort Wright with what he's learned about this tragic accident. Joe.
Well, Rob, the police investigation is just now getting underway. The medical examiner doing an autopsy on Kenneth Hartsock, see if they can figure out a medical explanation for why he was driving erratically, as witnesses say he was, and told police. We now know it was not the car, not his car that he was driving, and he was driving a car he didn't have permission to drive. All of these are interesting facts, and more facts will be coming to light. But the one overwhelming fact is that 4 people, all of them parents, 3 of them grandparents, are dead. At the Reeves Produce Market in Ludlow today, there is sadness in the air. The store is a half block from Gloria Roden's home. Owner Robin Webb lived next door to Jack and Ann Willis for 15 years.
Nicest people you ever want to meet. Do anything for anybody. And Jack was crazy. He's always joking, always. Saw him yesterday. They stopped by and hollered, "Oh, we're picking Gloria up. Go take her to her doctor's appointment for her because she had knee surgery a couple weeks ago."
It was on that trip they collided head-on into Kenneth Hartsock as he drove down the hill on Highland Pike. Hartsock's ex-wife says he took her car without her permission. She says he was a great guy who sometimes made stupid choices. Fort Wright's mayor says Highland Pike is a challenge for drivers. He's asked the state to take a second look at the 45-mile-per-hour speed limit and to consider a barrier wall in the median.
We hate having any fatalities on our roadways, so that's always concerning to us. But we have to wait till we get all the details, so we have to wait till we get the police report and for them to reconstruct to see what happened.
Whatever is done is too late for 2 families. One very close family.
They were always together too, always, them 3. Very seldom did you see one without the other 2.
The reason you don't see all 3 together in pictures is because Jack Willis was known as a devoted photographer. Robin Webb says they will live on in his pictures, and Jack Willis will live on in all the photos he took of her daughter. And these folks will be missed by a whole lot of people. Kenneth Hartsock leaves behind 2 children. The Willises both have children from previous marriages and grandchildren. Gloria Roden had 3 sons, 6 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. And Rob, when you add those numbers up, you can see why Fort Wright police described this wreck yesterday as tragic. Reporting live in Fort Wright, I'm Joe Webb, Local 12 News. Rob?
It certainly is, Joe. And I know from driving Highland Pike that people, they go pretty fast. I mean, 45 may be as slow as people go, but there's a lot of people really hauling the mail on Highland Pike.
Well, and coming down the hill, this is a very steep hill. It's a very steep grade. And with a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit, you're right. People are gathering speed. They're gaining speed. It's just, it's hard to say if, it's hard to say what contributed to yesterday's accident. We really don't have all the facts yet. But yeah, it is a challenging place to drive, especially when there's a lot of traffic.
It certainly is, Joe. Thanks very much. Fort Wright City Council is meeting tonight at 6. Mayor Dave Hatter says they'll talk about the crash and some suggestions on how to try to make the hill a little safer.